On the far edge of the galaxy, there was a world of silver skies and crystal towers. It was the planet Veralia, home to a proud and ancient race. In the highest tower of the royal palace lived Princess Zira, the only daughter of the mighty Empress Sarathia. She was known for her beauty, her sharp mind, and her unmatched grace, but also for a secret that haunted the entire empire. From the moment she reached maturity, it became clear that no male from her species could touch her without facing a terrible fate. Her DNA rejected them. It was not a simple illness. It was like her very blood was a weapon against her own kind. Suitors from noble houses came to win her hand, but each one who tried to bond with her collapsed, their bodies unable to survive the connection. Some died within hours, others barely escaped with their lives. The palace scientists worked day and night. They ran tests, studied her cells, and searched ancient records for answers. Nothing worked. The Empress, who ruled with an iron will, was growing desperate. Without an heir, the royal bloodline would end with Zira. The people began to whisper that the royal family was cursed. Zira tried to hide her pain behind a cold mask, but deep inside, she felt trapped. She wanted love, companionship, and a life beyond the palace walls, but every attempt to connect with someone ended in tragedy. Sometimes late at night, she would stand on the balcony of her room, staring at the stars, wondering if somewhere out there was someone who could stand by her side without dying. Then one day, a strange message reached the royal court. It came from a distant, little-known planet, Earth. The words were simple, but bold: a human genetic researcher claimed to have found something unusual in human DNA, something that might match with her biology. At first, the Empress laughed. To involve a primitive human in royal matters was unthinkable. But desperation is a powerful thing, and soon the laughter faded. Zira read the human's file in silence. His name was Commander Ethan Cole, a soldier and explorer with a history of surviving impossible missions. His blood carried a rare combination of markers that no Verelian possessed. The scientist claimed it could bypass her deadly rejection. Zira's heart beat faster as she stared at his image. He looked nothing like her kind, his eyes a piercing blue, his expression strong yet calm. Still, something in her felt curious. The High Council gathered to discuss the matter. Half of them were outraged. The other half saw a glimmer of hope. In the end, the Empress made her decision. The human would be brought to Veralia not as a suitor, but as a test subject. Zira did not know what to expect when he arrived. She imagined a clumsy, awkward creature from a less advanced world. But when Ethan stepped into the Great Hall, wearing the black uniform of Earth Space Command, he moved with confidence. His gaze met hers, and for a moment, the noise of the court faded. They stood only a few feet apart. Zira felt the familiar rush of fear, the moment when her DNA would begin its deadly rejection. But it did not come. Instead, there was a strange warmth, like two different pieces of a puzzle finally touching. The court gasped. Whispers filled the air. Some called it a miracle, others a danger. Zira's mind raced. For the first time in her life, someone could stand before her without pain, without fear. That night, she stood again on her balcony, looking at the stars. But this time, she wasn't searching for someone out there. He was already here on her world, and he might be the answer to the curse that had shaped her entire life. Far away, deep within the palace, the Empress spoke with her advisors. If this human is truly compatible, she said, then the future of Veralia may change forever. But in the shadows, unseen by both mother and daughter, other eyes watched, plotting to ensure that such a future would never come to pass. Ethan Cole had seen many strange things in his years of service, but nothing could prepare him for the shimmering corridors of Verelia's royal palace. The walls pulsed faintly with living energy, like the building itself was breathing alien. Guards in silver armor watched his every move. Their eyes followed him with silent suspicion. He had been told little on the journey here, only that his presence was requested by an alien empress for a matter of genetic importance. It sounded like nonsense to him. Still, when Earth's High Command explained that the mission could change humanity's place in the galaxy. He agreed. The grand hall opened before him. 1,000 alien eyes stared down from balconies above. At the far end, on a throne carved from glowing crystal, sat the Empress. Beside her stood Princess Zira, the woman whose image he had seen in the briefing. She was unlike anything he had imagined, tall, with luminous skin that seemed to capture the light, her eyes shifting like pools of molten gold. She moved with a grace that felt both otherworldly and dangerous. Ethan's instincts told him this was someone who could kill him with a glance, or save him with a touch. The Empress spoke first, her voice strong yet cold. "Commander Ethan Cole of Earth, you have been brought here to determine if you can assist our royal family." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Assist how?" he asked. His voice echoed in the silent hall. Whispers rippled through the court. The Empress's eyes narrowed. "You will undergo a series of tests with my daughter," she said. "It is believed your unique human biology may succeed where all others have failed." Ethan's gaze shifted to Zira. She met his eyes without flinching. There was no smile, no welcome, only a quiet, guarded curiosity. The first test was simple, or so they said. He was instructed to stand close to her, to allow their energy fields to touch. In every other case, this would have been the moment the suitor collapsed in agony. But as Ethan stepped forward, he felt nothing but a strange warmth, like sunlight on a winter morning. Gasps filled the hall. A Varelian scientist scanned the readings, his hands shaking. "No rejection," he whispered. "The human is stable." Zira's expression did not change, but inside, her thoughts were a storm. She had never felt this before. The absence of pain was almost more shocking than the pain itself. The tests continued. Some were physical, walking side by side through rooms designed to amplify her DNA's defense reaction. Others were mental, sharing memories through a neural link that allowed her to see flashes of his life on Earth. She saw oceans under a blue sky, cities glowing at night, battles fought in the silence of space. In return, Ethan saw her memories, the loneliness of her high tower, the endless processions of dying suitors, the quiet nights where she stared at the stars and wished for something different. Not everyone was pleased. In the shadows of the council chamber, Lord Vareth, a powerful noble with ambitions for the throne, watched the results with cold hatred. "If this human bonds with her," he whispered to his allies, "my claim to power will vanish." Plans began to form, dark and dangerous. Later that night, Ethan was escorted to a guest chamber overlooking the city. The alien skyline shimmered like a sea of diamonds. He thought about the tests, about the princes, and about the strange way his heart had reacted when she looked at him. In another part of the palace, Zira stood at her balcony again. The human had passed the first tests, but that meant nothing compared to what lay ahead. The real trials, the ones that would prove whether he could survive her in every way, were yet to come. Neither of them knew that forces within the palace were already moving against them, and neither could guess that the next test would not just measure their compatibility, it would put both their lives in danger. The palace gardens at night were like another world. Moonlight danced on silver leaves, and glowing flowers whispered with a faint hum. Ethan walked beside Zira through the winding paths. Their steps were slow, almost cautious, as if both were trying to read the other without words. The official tests were over for the day, but Zira had asked him to walk with her. She said it was part of the emotional compatibility trial. Ethan suspected it was something more. "You do not act like the others," Zira said softly, her golden eyes fixed on the path ahead. "The suitors I have met before were full of pride. They saw me as a prize to win, not a person." Ethan glanced at her. "Maybe that's why they failed," he replied. "If you see someone as a trophy, you stop seeing who they really are." Her lips curved, not quite a smile, more like a shadow of one, for a princess who had learned to hide her feelings. This was a rare crack in the mask. They reached a bridge over a stream of liquid light. The water shimmered like molten stars. Zira paused there, her hand brushing against the railing. For a brief moment, her fingers touched his. She expected pain, the deadly surge of her DNA as defense. Instead, she felt something unfamiliar, comfort, warmth, a pull she could not explain. But their quiet moment shattered with the hiss of movement in the shadows. Ethan's instincts screamed. He pulled Zira to the ground as a blade of pure energy sliced through the air where she had stood. 3 masked figures emerged from the darkness. Moving with the speed of trained assassins, Ethan's hand went to the weapon at his side, a compact earth pulse gun. He fired, forcing the attackers to scatter. Zira rose beside him, her hands glowing with a fierce alien energy. Together, they fought as one. Ethan was fast, precise, his years of combat training evident in every move. Zira was like a storm, graceful yet deadly. Her energy strikes lit the garden in flashes of gold and silver. Within moments, 2 assassins lay unconscious. The third fled into the night. Ethan turned to her. "You okay?" he asked, breathing hard. She nodded, but her eyes were on him. Something had changed in that fight. Not only had he saved her life, but he had moved in perfect rhythm with her, as if their bodies had known each other for years. The royal guards arrived too late. They took the unconscious attackers away, muttering about treason and betrayal. But Zira knew this was not just random violence. Someone in the palace wanted Ethan gone. That night, in her private chamber, she paced the floor. Her mind was full of questions. Why was the bond with him growing stronger every day? Why did her DNA not only accept him but seem to respond? Every time he was near, she felt her strength increase, her senses sharpen. In his guest quarters, Ethan lay awake, replaying the moment her hand had touched his. He couldn't explain it, but the feeling had stayed with him. It wasn't just attraction. It was something deeper, something that felt like it had been waiting for a long time. The next morning, the scientists confirmed what Zira had already felt. Ethan's DNA was not only compatible, it was merging with hers, in a way no one had seen before. It wasn't rejection, it was enhancement. The news spread through the palace like wildfire. The council reacted with outrage. Some called it unnatural. Others whispered that a bond between a human and the princess could threaten the balance of the galaxy. But for Zira, it was already too late to turn back. She didn't know what the future held. She only knew that the human had stepped into her cursed life and, somehow, made her feel alive. In the shadows of the council chamber, Lord Vareth clenched his fist. "If this continues," he hissed to his allies, "we will lose everything." His plan to remove Ethan was no longer just an idea, it was a mission. And far above the city, in the quiet sky, 2 moons hung side by side, as if the universe itself was watching the bond grow, a bond that could save a world or destroy it. The council chamber was a place of shadows and echoes. Tall black pillars rose into the mist above, and the floor was carved with the symbols of Aurelia's ancient laws. It was here that decisions had shaped empires and destroyed them. Ethan stood in the center, flanked by 2 guards. Above him, in a circle of raised seats, the council members watched like predators. Their faces were unreadable, but their eyes burned with suspicion. The Empress sat at the highest seat, her expression a mask of calm authority. Beside her, Zira kept her chin high, though her hands were clenched at her sides. She already knew what was coming. Lord Vareth rose from his seat. His voice was smooth, but his words were sharpened blades. "Your Majesty, fellow counselors, this human is a danger to our people," he began. "Our traditions, our purity, our future, all risk collapse if this experiment continues." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Vareth continued, "Our records show no union between species has ever ended without disaster. His very presence disrupts the balance of our court. He has enemies already, and the longer he stays, the greater the threat to the princess's life." Ethan listened in silence, his jaw tight. He had faced interrogations before, but this was different. Here, He was not just defending himself. He was defending the fragile connection between him and Zera. The Empress spoke, her voice steady. And yet, Lord Vareth, the human has survived where all others failed. His compatibility with my daughter is a fact. Not a rumor. That fact, Vareth replied, is the very reason we must act. If the people see him as the princess's chosen, it will divide the empire. We cannot risk war with those who reject the idea of a human heir. At that, another counselor, Lady Serane, leaned forward. There's also the matter of intention. She said, Commander Cole, what is it you seek here? Power? Wealth? Or something else? Ethan finally spoke. His voice was low but steady. I didn't ask to be here. I didn't come for your throne or your politics. I came because someone thought I might help. And if helping means standing beside the princess when no one else can, then that's what I'll do. A ripple of surprise moved through the chamber. Some were unsettled by his honesty, others intrigued. But Vareth smiled. It was not a kind smile. Then you accept what we demand, he said. Leave Veralia at once, or face the consequences. The air in the chamber seemed to freeze. Zyra's voice cut through it like a blade. No, she said. The word was sharp, final. If you want him gone, you'll have to go through me. Gasps echoed. Defying the council was dangerous, even for a princess. But Zira's golden eyes burned with defiance. This is not just about me, she continued. This is about the survival of our people. And I will not let fear or old laws destroy the only chance we have. The Empress's gaze shifted between her daughter and the council. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then she gave her verdict. The human stays, she declared. But the trials will continue. If he fails, he leaves, and there will be no second chance. The guards escorted Ethan and Zira from the chamber. Their steps were silent, but the air between them was heavy with unspoken words. In the quiet of the corridor, Ethan finally said, You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did, Zira replied. Because if we let them decide our fate, we've already lost. That night, under the twin moons, they met in the garden again, not as a soldier and a princess, but as two people standing against the weight of a galaxy. They made a pact. Whatever came next, they would face it together. Neither of them knew that Vareth had already set his next plan into motion, and this time it would not be a public attack. It would be something far more dangerous, something meant to tear them apart from the inside. The bonding chamber was unlike any place Ethan had seen. A vast circular room with walls of living crystal that pulsed in rhythm like a heartbeat. At the center stood a platform surrounded by rings of golden light. This was where the final compatibility trial would take place. Zira stood opposite him, her long cloak flowing like liquid gold. Her expression was calm, but Ethan could see the tension in her eyes. She had been warned. If the bonding failed, the reaction could kill them both. This is dangerous, he said quietly. We don't have to do this if you're not sure. She met his gaze. Ethan, my whole life has been a cage built by this curse. If there is a chance to break it, I will take it, even if it kills me. The lead scientist, a thin Virelian named Dr. Thylon, activated the bonding field. Rings of light spun around them. Pulling at the air, Ethan felt a strange vibration in his bones, as if his body recognized something deep inside hers. The process began. Streams of golden and blue energy flowed from their bodies, meeting in the space between them. The moment the two energies touched, a shockwave burst outward. The chamber walls trembled, alarms blared. This is stronger than expected, Thalen shouted. Their bond is accelerating. Zira's eyes widened as her body flooded with new strength. Her senses sharpened. She could hear the hum of the crystals, feel the pulse of Ethan's heartbeat in her chest. It was intoxicating, but the power came with pain. The energy surged, becoming violent. The golden and blue streams twisted together, forming a storm that spiraled upward. Lightning-like arcs struck the walls, shattering pieces of crystal. Ethan gritted his teeth. His muscles burned as if fire was crawling under his skin. He could feel his DNA changing, adapting, merging with hers. Every instinct told him to pull away, but he refused. "Don't let go." Zira shouted over the roar, outside the chamber. Lord Vareth watched through a viewing screen, his lips curved into a thin smile. The chaos was exactly what he had hoped for. The sabotage had worked. The bonding field had been overloaded to push their bodies past the limit. Inside, the storm reached its peak. Zira's knees buckled. Ethan caught her, holding her upright, even as his own vision blurred. For a moment, they were both certain they would die. Then, silence, the light faded. The storm collapsed into a single glowing sphere that hovered between them before sinking into their bodies. Ethan gasped for breath. His skin shimmered faintly. His eyes glowed with a trace of gold. Zira's skin carried a soft blue hue beneath the gold. "They were both changed, Doctor." Phelan stared in disbelief. "They survived, and the bond is complete. But survival came at a cost." Zira's hand moved to her stomach. Her eyes went wide. She could feel something. A new life. A heartbeat inside her that was not hers alone. Ethan looked at her, confused. Then realization struck him. "Zira." "You're—" She nodded, tears in her eyes. "Yes, and it happened the moment the storm ended. The Council would be furious, the Empire would be thrown into chaos. But in that instant, none of it mattered. The impossible had happened to her. Curse was broken, and their lives were now forever linked. Above the palace, the sky shifted. Strange clouds formed, glowing with the same gold and blue light from the bonding. The people of Virelia looked up in awe, not knowing that the storm in the sky was only the beginning, and in the shadows, Vareth clenched his fists in rage. The sabotage had failed, and now he faced an enemy far more dangerous, a human who had not only survived, but changed the future. Of the royal bloodline, the news spread across Virelia like fire through dry grass. The princess was bonded to the human, and she carried his child. For some, it was a miracle. For others, it was an insult to every law and tradition they had ever known. Crowds gathered outside the palace gates. Some brought flowers and sang songs of hope. Others shouted in anger, demanding the union be undone. The city was split in two, and tension hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. Inside the palace, the Empress stood at the great window, watching her divided people. Her voice was low when she spoke to her daughter. "You have done something no ruler before you has dared. You have given us a future. And a war." Zira rested her hands on her stomach, feeling the faint rhythm of the life growing inside her. "I will protect this child," she said firmly. "No matter who stands against me." Ethan stood at her side. His eyes scanned the chamber, always alert. He knew that outside the public chaos, there were quieter, deadlier threats, and one of them had already begun to move. Lord Vareth's spies had spread through the city. He whispered to old allies, to military captains, to merchants with influence. "This child will end our empire," he told them. "If it is allowed to be born, it will destroy the order we have kept for centuries." And so a plan was set, to take the child before it could even draw its first breath. The attack came sooner than anyone expected. It was late night when the palace walls shook with the sound of explosions. Alarms screamed through the corridors. Guards rushed to defend the royal quarters, but the attackers were already inside. Ethan pulled Zira behind a pillar as plasma fire tore through the hall. He returned fire with his pulse gun, taking down 2 masked soldiers. Zira's hands lit with golden energy, striking another before he could reach them. "But there were too many. We have to get you out of here," Ethan shouted. "There's no safe place in the city." She replied, "Then we make our own," he said, grabbing her hand. They ran through hidden corridors known only to the royal bloodline. The walls here were old, carved with stories of past rulers. Finally, they reached the docking bay, where a small stealth ship waited. The Empress appeared at the bay's edge, flanked by loyal guards. Her face was pale, but her voice was strong. "Go," she ordered. "Take her far from here. Protect the child and Ethan." She hesitated only a moment. "Bring her back to me when the time is right." Ethan nodded once, then guided Zira aboard. The ship's engines hummed to life, and they lifted off into the night sky. From the palace balcony, Vareth watched the lights of the fleeing vessel disappear into the stars. His plan had failed again, but his resolve only hardened. "Run as far as you like," he whispered. "I will find you." Days turned into weeks as Ethan and Zira traveled between distant worlds. They hid on quiet moons, in the crowded underlevels of space stations, and in abandoned mining colonies. Everywhere they went, they saw how news of the hybrid child was spreading. Some came to offer blessings, believing the child would unite the galaxy. Others came with weapons, convinced it would destroy everything. Through it all, Ethan never left Zira's side. At night, under alien skies, they spoke about the future, not as a soldier and a princess, but as two people who had been thrown together by fate. One evening, as they camped beneath the glowing trees of a hidden world, Zira took his hand and placed it on her stomach. The child kicked, strong and sure. Ethan smiled. "Feels like she's ready to fight already." "She will have to be," Zira replied softly. "The galaxy won't be kind to her." And above them, the stars shimmered with the same golden blue light that had marked their bond, a reminder that their child's birth would change not just their lives, but the destiny of two worlds forever. The twin suns of Virelia's outer colony rose slowly over the horizon, bathing the valley in light. In a small shelter hidden among the cliffs, the air was still, broken only by the soft cry of a newborn child. Zira lay resting on a bed of woven crystal threads, her golden eyes half closed but filled with warmth. Beside her, Ethan cradled the baby in his arms. His rough soldier's hand seemed impossibly gentle as he looked down at the tiny face staring back at him. The child's eyes glowed faintly, not blue, not gold, but a swirling mix of both. "She has your strength," Zira whispered. "And your stubbornness, and your grace," Ethan replied. "And your fire." For a moment, the world outside their shelter didn't matter. No council, no assassins, no politics, just the three of them, together. But the galaxy had not forgotten them. A message beacon found their location 2 days later. It carried the voice of the Empress, softer than Ethan had ever heard it. "Zira, my daughter, return home. The people are ready to see the child. The time for hiding is over." They knew it was a risk. The child's existence still divided Virelia. Some would welcome her as a sign of unity. Others would see her as a threat that must be erased. But both parents understood their daughter's life would never be ordinary, and neither could theirs. The journey back to the capital was silent but heavy with meaning. As their ship descended, they saw the city's towers gleaming in the sunlight. Crowds filled the plaza outside the palace. The news of their return had already spread. When they stepped out, the crowd went quiet. Every eye was on the child in Ethan's arms. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then a single voice called out, "Hope." And the words spread like a wave. More voices joined, until the plaza was alive with the sound. The Empress stepped forward, her gaze falling on the child. Slowly, she reached out and touched the baby's cheek. "She is the bridge," the Empress said, her voice carrying over the crowd. "The bond between our world and Earth. The future we could not imagine, but now hold in our hands." Even some who had once opposed them lowered their heads. Not everyone was convinced, but no one could deny the presence of something new, something powerful. From the shadows at the edge of the plaza, Lord Vareth watched. His eyes were cold. But for the first time, there was a flicker of uncertainty. The child's mere presence was undoing years of his fear-driven influence. That night, as the palace celebrated, Ethan stood on the balcony with Zira. The lights of the city shimmered below. "She's going to change everything," he said, looking at their sleeping daughter in Zira's arms. "She already has," Zira replied. "For me, for you, for everyone, in the years to come." The child would be known across the galaxy as Leora, the daughter of two worlds. Her name would be spoken in council chambers, on distant starships, in the markets of alien worlds. Some would see her as a symbol of peace, others as a warning of change. But in that moment, under the glow of the twin moons, she was only a child in her parents' arms. Unaware of the legacy waiting for her, Ethan wrapped his arm around Zira, and together they looked to the stars. Knowing their journey was far from over, they had defied nature, broken curses, and survived storms, and now they carried the future of two worlds, not as rulers or soldiers, but as a family. And somewhere in the endless night sky, the stars seemed to burn a little brighter, as if the galaxy itself was watching, waiting for what would come next.